This is so funny to me. I got my Bible right here. This is KJV, which is a little bit harder to understand. And I got my Sedlak glasses. SD import thing because I have a Yoga. I don't have a Mac. I'm gonna get a Mac. But yeah, I'm gonna take this. I can scoop this. Here's the formula in the back. Oh snap. Subs. We got the verses. Read this verse right here. Look at the birds in the air. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. All right, we're at the gym now, and it's like 6 a.m. right now. We're at the Plaza in Kansas City. Cheese Fit in Kansas City specifically. It's always so nice. It's always so nice to come here in the mornings. There's been a whole lot more people recently who have been here like earlier in the morning than it used to be, but like the environment at Cheese Fit early in the morning is like, there's something about it. Like, it's not like a hardcore bodybuilding gym by any means, but everybody who's here early in the morning, they're here to get something done. They're not here just to mess around or to do whatever, you know. So it's just like, you know, it's a very good environment. All right, so I'm on the roof of Cheese Fit right now. We just wrapped up for our morning segment. Like, a lot of stuff has been changing. We're dialed in a lot more on the business side of things. But anyway, I want to talk to you guys about something today that I wish I would have knew when I first started my journey, or something that I wish I would have knew, um, a long time ago, or even something that I wish I would continue to apply in the aspect of business, something that I'm trying to apply in the aspect of this. And that's just knowing the importance of showing up for yourself, right? Actually knowing the importance of, or knowing just how important it is for you to actually just continue to show up, right? And the biggest reason why I'm telling you guys this is because there's going to be days to where the last thing you want to do is show up. There's going to be days to where, last thing you want to do is go to the gym. Last thing you want to do is, hit your calories, or even if it's something outside of the gym, man, there's always going to be a point in time to where you're going to be down, where you're going to be beat up mentally, to where you're not going to be feeling it, to where you're going to be feeling like you're at 0% or like you can't give anything at all. But those moments to where you don't want to do it, those moments to where, the last thing you want to do is get it done, are going to be the most important moments in your journey, right? Because imagine this. Imagine you have a bad day, right? And you're like, you know what? I'm not really feeling this. You know what? I don't really want to go to the gym today. You know what? I did have a bad day today, and I just don't want to do it. I don't want to get up. I don't want to get out of bed, right? And let's say in this example you don't. Let's say you decide to be like, man, you know what? I am pretty tired. I am feeling pretty bad, pretty off. And then you just choose not to show up. Right. Those moments are easy to do that. It's easy to be like, yeah, I'm tired. I don't want to do it. But in those moments when you give in to, I guess, that weakness that you're feeling, that's going to be the start of a downward spiral if you allow it to. Right. Because, like I said, there's going to be days like this. And let's say in this example, you know, it's one of those days where you're like, man, I'm not doing it. And you don't. And then another day comes around and you're like, oh, I'm not doing it. And then another day. And then that one day turns to a week. That one day turns to 2 weeks. Those 2 weeks turn into a month and so on and so forth. Right. And then before you know it, you're either going to be regressing, losing progress, or you're going to end up quitting altogether, or at the very most, you're going to be making less progress than you should have been making. Right. And, you know, like I said, man, just I've spoken on this in a couple of videos in the past. When you're able to kind of approach this kind of thing, knowing like, man, this is gonna suck. This is gonna be hard. There's gonna be days to where I don't feel bad, and you're not blindsided by it. It's gonna be a lot easier for you to actually continue to go because, man, 90% of the time, I don't want to do the things that I do. You know, 90% of the time, I don't feel that motivation. 90% of the time, I feel, not completely hyped up to do the things that are necessary for me to grow, to progress, to keep moving forward. But if the 90% of the time I decided to just not do it because I didn't feel like it, man, that 10% isn't going to get me anywhere, right? That 10%, if I'm neglecting the 90 that I don't feel great, that I should have been showing up and I haven't, like, if I were to continue moving forward that way, man, I wouldn't be on your screen right now. I wouldn't, be able to show up for other people in my life, like my clients, my friends, whatever it is. Like, man, there's gonna be so many things that you don't feel like doing. And it's kind of weird for me to record this right now because I'm on a roof of Cheese Fit and there's probably like 6 people or some guys sparring right there. So it's kind of weird for me to just be talking to a camera with all these people around. I'm used to it on reels, but like transparent kind of videos like this, it's kind of weird. But anyway, and that could be another example. Like I could sit here and be like, yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna, talk to these guys today because, I don't really feel like it, or I don't want to talk to a camera in front of people. It's always gonna be days like that. And the reason why I'm able to do this now is because I've put myself in a situation where, I've inputted regardless of an external factor or people around or whatever that is, right? But I'm talking in circles right now, man. But let me get back to the actual topic of this video. Man, it's gonna suck, right? Like this journey is hard. This journey is very, very difficult. And a lot of you guys, and I've been on calls and I've texted some of you guys. There's some people who will complain about it being hard. There's some people, who moan and groan and be like, "Man, this sucks, man. I wish it didn't have to be this hard or whatever." But in reality, bro, if you could get the physique of your dreams by just taking a pill and not putting in any work and not, going through days where it was grueling, the days where you didn't feel like it, you didn't build that discipline, you didn't build that mindset, those habits, man, you would feel exactly the same, right? Because the physique itself, like I always say, it doesn't matter. The physique itself, it doesn't mean anything if you're not developing, if you're not going through the fire, if you're not putting yourself in uncomfortable situations and developing a stronger mindset and building better habits. If you just have the physique, bro, you're just going to be a loser who is using the physique as a mask because he can't actually develop himself outside of the gym. You understand? Like if you were able to get this just like that, if everyone was able to get this like that If it was that easy, it wouldn't be worth it, one. And you wouldn't even want it because you look around and you see all these people around you who have this amazing physique, but it was just a normal thing, right? Like it's like looking around and seeing somebody morbidly obese in the US, or looking around or seeing somebody that, has his head down and is hiding his body behind hoodies because he's insecure about his physique. Like it's easy to do that. It's easy to just sit around and not put it in the work. It's easy to just make excuses. It's easy to just be like, you know what, I don't feel like it today and not doing it. But like when you're allowing yourself to be moved and allowing yourself to be put in a position where you're not inputting in a way that you need to be, and you're just setting yourself up to fail, right? And I know I'm like kind of talking in circles here, but I want you guys to really understand this. It's like there's going to be days, there's going to be more days, significantly more days to where you feel terrible and where you don't want to do it, where that's the last thing that you want to do. But you gotta get through the day regardless. You gotta input in the way that you need to, regardless if this is what you want. And I know a lot of you guys are watching this. If you've watched this to this point, obviously haven't edited this video yet, so I don't know exactly how it's going to be structured. But if you've listened to me talk for this long, you obviously wanted enough to at least consider making a change, or at least consume some information that will allow change to occur. But man, I want you guys to know, like, this isn't gonna be easy, but the hard days to where you show up and you feeling like you only got 10% left in the tank and you give that 10% anyway, or those days to where, you're feeling down, or, some bad stuff happened, or you got every reason not to do it, but you get up and get it done anyway, even when it's inconvenient, even when, it's like I said, the last thing that you want to do. If you're able to continuously stack those days to where you show up for yourself regardless, man, that's where you're gonna make that transformation internally and externally, because that's building discipline. That's developing a mindset that's gonna yield you some results down the line. But until you're able to embrace those days, until you're able to actually do what you need to do, regardless of how you feel, actually show up even when you don't want to, until then, you're not ever gonna make any progress. Right? And I keep talking in circles here and I don't feel like I'm wording this in the best way, but I hope you guys were able to at least take something from this video. I don't know how long it's going to be. I know I have a couple of clips, but biggest thing that I want you guys to do is just understand that, and understand, hey, once I start embracing this hardship, once I start embracing, the tough times in this moment, is going to be the moment to where I completely transform my mindset and my physique. But I love you guys. Jesus loves you too. And if you want to work one on one with me, my calendar is in my bio. Just click that and book a call. But yeah, man, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. This is a very different kind of video, but I wanted to try something different. I want to give you guys as much value as I can, but I don't want it to just be stale and repetitive. So love you guys. Jesus loves you too. Like I said, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.